Konfrontasi was fought on two fronts, one in the jungles of Borneo. But there was another one, a war of words. It was fought in meeting rooms, conferences, embassies, all around the world. And you know the titans involved, Tun Ghazali Shafie, Tun Dr. Ismail, Tun Abdul Razak. But today I want to talk to you about three young men who stood behind them, quietly, their roles unknown, forgotten. Three men under 40, three officers who would follow Ghazali Shafie through some of the most difficult diplomatic moments of the Konfrontasi years. And let me be clear, they were not superheroes. They were regular Malaysian diplomats from different backgrounds, reflecting the multicultural character of the Foreign Service. They traveled with Ghazali Shafie for many of the Konfrontasi missions: Cairo, Karachi, New Delhi, Algiers, Lagos, United Nations, and finally Bangkok. Bangkok was simply the moment when their work became visible. Thanks to one Straits Times article, this video focuses on that one moment. Not because it was their only contribution, but because it helps us understand the kind of officers who quietly held Malaysia's diplomacy together, the ones the Straits Times called the Counter-Confrontation Trio. I'm going to tell you who they were. There is one more reason why I am telling this story now. You see, this August 2026 will mark the 60th anniversary of the signing of the Bangkok Peace Agreement. Yes, the agreement that ended the Konfrontasi finally. Yet, the men who were responsible for drafting the paperwork, for fielding the questions from the press, for shielding the agreement, have almost completely been forgotten. Diplomacy during the ending of Konfrontasi wasn't just about shaking hands. It was confrontation, through language instead of weapons. Every Malaysian statement was examined by Jakarta for signs of weakness. One wrong word could escalate tension. One misstep could undermine Malaysia's legitimacy. So when the Bangkok peace talks were scheduled, Ghazali Shafie, the Iron Will Permanent Secretary, didn't bring a huge delegation. He wanted silence, accuracy, and control. He assembled what can only be described as a sniper team. Tun Razak later told the press, "I must congratulate our officials. They've done a magnificent job." He didn't name them, but the article did. Oh, and let me be clear. These are not the only three men who were responsible for the ending of the Konfrontasi. There were dozens of others who played their own roles in different parts of the world, in Algeria, in New Delhi, in Cairo, Jakarta, elsewhere. But these three men that I'm going to talk to you about are the ones who were closely associated with Ghazali Shafie, who relied upon them for doing the heavy lifting of the final days of the ending of the Konfrontasi. And here are the three names: Ahmad Nordin, Jack de Silva, and Zainal Abidin Sulong. This is a story about these three men. The first, Ahmad Nordin, also known as a smiling spokesman. But that smile, it was strategic. Before joining the Foreign Service, he had been a reporter. Nordin managed the international press at the height of Konfrontasi. He controlled the tone of the story, deflected hostile questions, blocked rumors before they spread. He kept Malaysia's narrative tight, disciplined, and unshakable. He was the shield that protected the country's public messaging. Number two, Jack de Silva from Kuala Lumpur. He had been a school teacher before joining the Foreign Ministry. He had a gift, a near photographic memory. In high-stakes diplomacy, you cannot keep referring to files. You need to remember precisely what the other side said 3 months ago, 3 weeks ago, or even 3 minutes ago. Jack did that. He detected shifts in Indonesia's language instantly. He spotted contradictions before anyone else did, and that gave Malaysia a tactical edge. He was kind of like a database and an early warning system. And number three, Zainal Abidin Sulong, the youngest and the quietest. In diplomacy, silence isn't weakness. Silence is analysis. Zainal was a wordsmith. He drafted Malaysia's counter-proposals. He prepared fallback positions. When Jakarta changed direction suddenly, Zainal already had a revised plan ready. He was the engine room of the negotiation. Why am I telling this story? Because diplomacy is not about one great man. We love to hear that, but in reality, behind that one great man are a team of people. And in this case, these three men were instrumental for drafting Malaysia's position for the negotiations in Bangkok to end the Konfrontasi. When Indonesia shifted demands, Zainal had the drafts. When journalists attacked, Nordin held the line. And when contradictions appeared, Jack caught them immediately. It wasn't improvisation. It was preparation and teamwork carried by officers whose names don't appear in our speeches or monuments. For these three young men, the Bangkok Peace Agreement of 1966 was the defining moment. In those quiet hotel rooms, where the war of words was finally won. All three men went on to serve Malaysia with distinction. Zainal Abidin Sulong later became Tan Sri and also headed the Foreign Ministry as the Secretary General. So when you think of the end of the Konfrontasi, I want you to look past the front row, the row where the ministers are seated. Look for the shadows in the back row. That is where the work was done. There are so many aspects to the Konfrontasi, and I've spoken about some of them in my videos here. So if you'd like to know more about the Konfrontasi and the different aspects of it, including the Afro-Asian Conference and how Malaysia had to fight for its legitimacy in the Middle East, I would like you to click the playlist right here and watch those videos. If you like these videos, please hit the like and subscribe button. In the next video, I have another interesting thing to talk about. Thank you very much.